Well, welcome BG Falcon fans to another edition of BG Falcon Hockey Weekly. Ryan Vallon here with head coach Chris Bergeron of the Bowling Green Falcons. And coach, your team went down to the heart of Dixie to take on the Alabama Huntsville Chargers in a two-game weekend series. And we'll start on the Saturday game, as it was a Saturday-Sunday matchup. And your team was a level playing field for the first period, and then the second period and third period, you guys took that game and cruised your way to a 6-2 victory.
Yeah, I would agree with that. We started slow without having excuses. I mean, you look towards the 10 days off that we had, and our guys were off for 4 of those days, and it showed the first 20 minutes. It wasn't awful. I think it was a tie game going in the second period, and I felt like our game was getting better as the game went on, our team game. And, you know, the first 10 minutes of the second period come to mind as we started to play. We started to spend more time in their zone, started to create opportunities for ourselves. Pucks weren't necessarily going in, but we were around it and competing and looked more like ourselves, and I had a good feeling about that. And you know, with the exception of a play here or there, we go up 3-1, full momentum, and then we kind of hand them something by a couple of turnovers in our own zone, and they take advantage as every team will. But I really thought the power play in particular, as we started the third period, made its presence well known and scored a couple goals there, and now it's a 5-2 game, and we just kind of cruised on from there.
Yeah, the power play was clicking. 2 goals, as you mentioned. The 2 goals in the same game for the first time, I think, since the Ohio State game, the Ohio State 8-2 thrashing. So your team went 6-2 on that night, and then flip ahead to Sunday it was, and it was a 2-1 victory, 1-0 lead, and then it got tied 1-1 on an interesting play with a delayed penalty. Wasn't funny then, kind of funny now, but your team came out of Alabama with 6 points with a 2-1 victory.
Yeah, I really liked the way we played on Sunday. I thought we were in control and doing what we want to do for the most part from start to finish. I mean, obviously their goal, you know, you pull the goalie out. The way it works in college is if you score on a delayed penalty, you still get the power play. So why not try to score and maybe score a couple of times, you know, in the delay where you bring an extra guy and then your 5-on-4 opportunity. And obviously it didn't work out that way. It's unfortunate, and at the time, as you say, it wasn't funny, and you feel bad for Connor Ford and the young guy involved. But I think, Ryan, that those games find a way of working themselves out to where the team that's supposed to win does, and the way I had it in terms of chances, in terms of shots, in terms of those kind of things, I thought it worked out the way it was supposed to. I liked the way we played, and to come out and score the first shift of the third period, and basically that be the game winner, obviously shows a resiliency with our group, and we're not going to be denied in our group, and I like that, and that's something that we're going to need here moving forward.
So your team picks up 6 points and moves itself to third in the WCHA standings, with Ferris State coming up this weekend. And Coach, what do you look from Ferris State coming into this weekend? It's got to be a great match.
Yeah, I look for it to be very difficult. You know, it's a tough rink to play in. They're a tough team to play against. I look at their recent results as being, you know, something that's going to ignite them and not hurt them. I mean, obviously they don't like the results in the last 6 games, and but you look at the stats and the breakdown of those games and the video of those games, they've probably played better than the results show. And I know this team is absolutely capable. So our focus is on the Ferris State program and where we're playing and the rivalry versus what's gone on the last month for either program. It's going to be hard. They're going to play us hard. They always do. Hopefully, you know, we're going to be ready to match that competitiveness and play hard our way. But I'm looking forward to be real exciting and kind of a typical WCHA weekend on the road. Just every inch of ice is going to be hard to find, and we're going to need to be right.
All right, well, thank you very much, Coach, for sitting down with me. Head Coach Chris Bergeron, Ryan Vallon here. This is BG Falcon Hockey Weekly, and we'll talk to you next week. And again, if you want to listen to both games from Ava Glaben Ice Arena in Ferris State, I'll have you covered on the Falcon Radio Network, and we'll talk to you next week.